How's your day? We hope that everything's good. We're from Group 5, and our group members are Philippus Neri, Benedict Cahyo, Seraphim Evangelina, and Maria Angelique. We will now present you about the poem called The Road Not Taken from Robert Frost. Enjoy!
The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted to wear. Though as for the passing there, had warned them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how many leads on to wait, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, the roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. So, we just paraphrased the poem by Robert Frost, The Road Not Taken, and here it is. So, the first stanza it says that the speaker has come to the crossroad and he doesn't know which path that he needs to choose because there are two roads and he confused about that. But one thing he knows that he couldn't take both of them, and that's why he need to choose one. And then he looks to the one path as far as he could, but finally he chose the other path. He thinks that the other path is more grassy and wanted to wear, although actually it's just the same with the other path. And the third stanza, on the next day he thinks that he could go back to the crossroad that he has taken on that day and take the other path that he didn't take on that day. But then he realizes that he couldn't do that because he's already made a decision on that day. And the last stanza it is saying that later in the future he will tell that the path that he chose has made some differences in his life.
This poem is about someone who questioning his life choice. From the poem, we can see clearly how the writer felt hesitated and confused about his choice of life, so he stopped at a crossroad. He was afraid of his choice and asked himself if he had made the right choice. The point of this poem is lyric. Our group identified this poem as a lyric poem because it expressed the speaker's feelings. From this poem, we can see clearly how the writer or the speaker expressed the feeling about confused and hesitated about his life choice. Theme of this poem is choice and uncertainty. In The Road Not Taken, the speaker described him or herself as facing the choice between which of two roads to take. The poem begins with the speaker recounting the experience of facing the choice of which road to take. The speaker's first emotion is sorrow, as he or she regrets the reality that makes it impossible to travel both roads or to experience both things. The poem makes clear that every choice involves the loss of opportunity and that choices are painful because they must be made with incomplete information. The speaker tries to gather as much information as possible by looking down one as far as I could. There is a limit to what the speaker can see, as the road is bent, meaning that it curves, leaving the rest of it out of sight. So the speaker, like anyone, face a choice, must be make a choice, but can't know enough to be sure which choice is right one. The speaker, as a result, is paralyzed, long-eyed, contemplating which road to choose. Some pattern in this poem is right. Our group can identify the sound pattern right because the repetition of consonant sound in consecutive or neighboring words. The words that we identify is would, stood, could, lay, they, wait, were, there, hence, difference, I, by, black, back, bout, undergrowth.
Figurative language is words and expressions used in poem and text to convey various meanings and interpretations from the literal meaning. In this poem, we found 4 figurative languages, and the first one is metaphor. The metaphor tells us about the different decisions that the writer makes and the impact on his or her lives. The second one, we have similes. We find 2 similes, and the first one is as far as I could, which compare the distance and the abilities to go through it, and the second one is as just as fair, which compare the road that less taken and the easy way through life. The third one, we have personification, and it shows as if the road is human that wants to wear and tear. The last one, we have imagery, which helps us as the reader to understand the situation in the poem. And the writer used leaves and yellow woods to help us visualize the road's atmosphere that the writer has chosen. Thank you!
In this poem, there is 3 symbols. The first one is 2 roads. 2 roads symbolize multiple life choices. The second one is yellow wood. It symbolizes the writer is stuck and doesn't have courage to choose the life's choice. The entirety of the road not taken is an extended metaphor in which the road less traveled symbolizes the path of non-conformity. And then the diverging roads, the entirety of the road not taken is an extended metaphor in which the 2 roads that diverge symbolize life is many choices.
Hello everyone, that's all from us. Thanks for listening and watching till the end. Stay healthy and goodbye.